Nano Banana, you write a perfect prompt, you hit generate, the loading bar creeps up, and then something went wrong. Credits gone, image nowhere. If that's happened to you, you're not alone. This is one of the most common complaints across Adobe's forums, Figma forums, and half of AI Twitter right. And on top of that, there is second problem. Nobody actually knows which Nano Banana they are supposed to be using anymore. Nano Banana, Nano Banana Pro, Nano Banana 2, Nano Banana 2 Lite. Four names, one confused user base. So in this video, I'm going to do three things. First, break down exactly what Nano Banana is and how it got there, how it got here. Second, show you exactly why it fails with the real technical reasons and how to fix it. And third, tell you which version you should actually to be using depending on what you are making. If you are building content, running a brand, or just tired of guessing, stay still to the end because the fix section alone will save you real money invested credits. Let's get into it. So first, what actually is Nano Banana? Nano Banana is Google's AI image generation editing model built into the Gemini app. What made it different from tools like Midjourney or older diffusion models wasn't just image quality. It was that Nano Banana can reason about an image. You give it a photo and real language instruction, change the background or the sunset, keep the person exactly the same, and it understands the instructions contextually instead of just matching keywords to pixels. It launched in August 2025 and went viral almost overnight, mostly because of one thing: character consistency. For the first time, people could take one photo and generate dozens of variations, different outfits, different scenes, different angles, and the face stayed the same. That's historically been one of the hardest problems in AI image generation, and Nano Banana solved it well enough, became a meme format on its own. 3 months later, in November 2025, Google released Nano Banana Pro, a professional-grade version aimed at agencies, advertisers, and enterprise users with stronger reasoning and better text rendering. Then February 2026, Nano Banana 2 launched, and this one that changed everything because it becomes completely free and got built in nearly every Google product you already use: Search, Lens, AI Studio, Vertex AI, even Google's Flow video editor. And the most recently, June 2026, Google released a fourth version, Nano Banana 2 Lite, built specifically for speed and volume. So that's the family. Now let's actually break down the differences because this is where most people get stuck. Let's make this simple. Think of it: three tools for three different jobs. Nano Banana 2 is your everyday workhorse. It's fast, it's free inside the Gemini app, and it's genuinely good. Not good for a free tool, just good. If you're brainstorming, iterating on an idea, or generating quick visuals for social content, this is where you start. Independent testing that ran 500 images through both Nano Banana 2 and Pro found something interesting. Unlabeled comparisons, testers picked Nano Banana 2 about 40% of the time, picked Pro about 45% of time, and called it tie the rest. That's basically a coin flip on quality for most everyday prompts. But Nano Banana 2 does it at roughly half the price and 2 or 3 times the speed. Nano Banana Pro is the specialist. This is where you go when the prompt actually needs precision, specifically for two things. One, text rendering. If your image needs readable text in it, a poster, a label, or headline baked into the visual. Pro handles multi-word phrases and style typography for more reliability. Nano Banana 2 tends to blend letters or break words once the text gets longer than a short phrase. 2. Factual accuracy. If you are generating something tied of real location, a brand product, or historical subject, Pro deeper word knowledge gives it a real edge. So the rule of thumb is simple. Creative and stylistic work, use Nano Banana 2. Factual or text heavy work, use Pro. Nano Banana 2 Lite is the newest addition, and it's built for one purpose: volume. It generates images in about 4 seconds and costs a fraction of cent per image. Google's own pricing puts it at roughly $0.034 per 1,000 images. This is the version you have used if you're running a pipeline that needs hundreds or thousands of images. Think automated thumbnail testing, bulk product mockups, or anything where you are iterating fast and don't need maximum polish or every single output. So here's actual decision 3 I have given. You are exploring an idea or doing quick creative work, Nano Banana 2. Does the image need readable text or real word factual accuracy? Pro. Are you generating a scale hundreds of images in a batch? Lite. The confusion alone is probably 30% of the complaints you will find online. People using the wrong tool for the wrong job and blaming the tool instead of mismatch. But that's not the big problem. The biggest problem is what we are covering next. Here's the pattern I found after going through dozens of real users reports: Adobe's community forums, Figma's bug reporters, developers developer forums, the complaints all cluster around 4 causes. And once you know these 4s, 90% of Nano Banana is broken. Moments stop being mysterious. Cause 1. Quota exhaustion. Every account, free or paid, has a daily generation limit. Once you hit it, generation starts silently falling or returning errors that don't clearly say you're out of quota. This is single most common cause and easiest to miss because the error message rarely tells you the real reason. Cause 2. Server overload. This is a big one and it's not your fault at all. Google's infrastructure sees peak traffic during a specific window, roughly 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. UTC, and generations during that window are far more likely to hang on, loading bar, and eventually time out. If your spinner just runs and runs without ever producing an image, that almost always there. Not a broken prompt, not a broken amount, just traffic. And the fix is almost embarrassingly simple. Wait 5 minutes and retry. That alone resolves the majority of these causes. Cause 3, and this is the one that actually makes people angry, the safety filter charging you anyway. If your prompt trips Nano Banana's content safety system, you'll something get a response that looks technically successful at 200 OK status, but there is no image. Here's the part that generates all of forum range. Google still charges the token cost for the failed generation. This is exactly the people on Adobe Photoshop forums are describing back in February, burning through thousands of credits on a tool that was failing the majority of attempts. One user reported roughly 200,000 credits burned on around 50 attempts, only 3 to 4 or 5 actually succeeding. This is awful. Cause 4. For anyone doing this through the API rather than the app, is a missing parameter called thought signature. In multi-turn conversations, if you are changing multiple edits together chromatically and then the model suddenly stops responding correctly pathway through, this is almost always the reason. It's small technical detail, but it's break entire automation pipelines if you don't know to look for it. So to summarize the 4 causes: quota limits, server overload during peak hours, the safety filters silently eating your credits, and for developers, a missing API parameter is multi-turn calls. Now here's the part you actually came for. How do you fix each of these? Let's go through this practically one cause at a time. For quota exhaustion, the fix isn't really a fix. It's a workflow change. Track your usage instead of finding out the hard way. If you're on the free tier and doing serious content work, this is honestly the strongest argument for upgrading or for shifting your bulk generation work to Nano Banana 2 Lite, since its cost per image are low enough that quota stops being a daily concern. For server overload, time your batch generation sessions outside 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. UTC window if you can. If you are in Pakistan like me, that window falls in the early mid to afternoon. So if you are planning to generate a big batch of thumbnails or scene assets, doing it in the morning or evening your time will noticeably cut down to failures. And when you do it stuck spinner, don't panic, retry 5 times in a row, wait, then retry once. For the safety filter silently charging you, this is about how you write your prompt. Vague or ambiguous prompts get flagged more than the specific ones because the model has less context to judge intent. If your prompt keeps failing with no clear reason, try rewording and to be more literal and specific rather than that abstract. Remove any language that could be read multiple ways specifically, especially around people, likeness, or sensitive scenes, and keep a mental note. If you get a success response with no image, that's the filter, not a bug. Don't just spam retry with the same prompt. Change it. For developers running multi-run API calls, make sure that thought signature parameter is being passed correctly between calls. That's once a pure technical fix, but it single-handedly resolves the work once the breaks patterns a lot of people are reporting. And here's the meta lesson underneath all of 4 of these. Almost none of these failures mean the tool is broken. They mean the tool is being used in a mismatched way, wrong time, wrong prompt clarity, wrong versions for the job, or missing parameters. Once you know that, Nano Banana stop feeling unreliable and start feeling predictable. Before we wrap up the comparison, I want to show you something that most people haven't even discovered yet because it just launched a few weeks before this video. Google quietly added Nano Banana generation directly into Google Earth. Here's how it works. You zoom into any real place on Earth using satellite, aerial, or 3D view, and then you can prompt a custom scene grounded in that exact location, real imaginary, not a generatic AI landscape. This actual footprint of real place you are looking at. Think about these cases here. History content, reconstruct that a location look like a different era, real estate, show a property with a completed renovation before it happens, even just concept pitches showing a client what their neighborhood could look like with the specific development. It's the same Nano Banana 2 model doing the generative work, but conditional on real geospatial data instead of floating a blank canvas. For anyone doing location-based content, architectural visualization, or even just waiting a general fresh visual hook for a video, this is worth testing. It's barely covered anywhere in English language content right now, so if you're an early adopter here, you have got a real content advantage. Let's bring this all together into a one clear answer, because that's really what everyone's watching this wants. If you're a creator making social contents, thumbnails, or quick visual concepts, start with Nano Banana 2. It's free, it's fast, and for the vast majority of everyday prompts, you generally cannot tell the difference from Pro. If your work involves text-heavy visuals, posters, product labels, anything with real branding or content tied to real locations and factual accuracy, step up to Nano Banana Pro. The extra cost is worth it there. If you're running any kind of automated pipeline, bulk thumbnails testing, high volume product mockups, anything generating in the hundreds, use Nano Banana 2 Lite. It's built exactly for that. And regardless of which version you use, remember 4 failure causes we covered: quota, server timing, that safety filter, and the API parameter issue for developers. Now that you know them, you'll spend a lot of less time confused and lot fewer credits wasted. That's the full picture of Nano Banana. What it actually is, why it fails, and exactly how to fix it. Is this saved you some wasted credits? Hit subscribe. I break down tools like this every week, maybe every day, or you are never guessing which AI tool to trust. Drop a comment with which versions you are using and what you are building with it. I read every single one. And if your Higgsfield generations have been breaking on you too, I made a full value packed video walking through the exact problem and fixes. On the screen, it's linked there on the screen. Go watch that one next, and I see you in the next one as always.